Die! Die! Why won't you die? Why won't you die?
I have seen the dark shadows moving in the woods, and I have no doubt that whatever I have resurrected is sure to come calling for me.
It was the woods themselves. They're alive.
Evil Dead. They got up on the wrong side of the grave. Evil Dead from New Line Cinema. So frightening no one under 17 admitted.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the new podcast, or welcome to the initial first episode. This is the first official episode. It depends when you're listening. I'm going to try to put these in chronological order because I know we're going to be talking about shows, but I wanted to start this off, man, with an iconic movie, at least I think to me. And when I had pitched it to you of like, hey, can we do this movie as the first one? You're like, oh yeah, that is like my shit. The Evil Dead is what I'm talking about, from 1981, which surprisingly has an NC-17 rating. I never knew this. Did you know this, Q?
No, I just looked at that today. When you told me that the other day, it had an NC-17 rating. But then I seen something when I just watched it like an hour ago. I was like, oh yeah,
okay.
I see that, and I can see why maybe some of the violence and stuff too, but because it was wild.
Yeah, we're going to get into all of it, man, because I had not rewatched this in maybe a good 5 or 6 years. I always go back to the second one. I don't know why. The second one is always like the must go to, right? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So,
yes, sir.
But before we get into it, guys, once again, this is our debut episode of what's the podcast called again? Why Won't You Die?
Why Won't You Die?
I told my girlfriend, I was like, I got to repeat it because I know I'm going to forget it. And I actually fucking forgot it because it's so fresh. And we're trying to build this podcast. Why Won't You Die? It's because I mainly just forgot because I pitched you like 4 different names of like what to come up with, man. And the reason why I didn't tell you Why Won't You Die is because that's one of those things, man. It's like a horror cliche, right? It's like you attack the killer and it goes down and you're yelling at the screen, hit that motherfucker again, right? Yeah, and they never do. Yeah. They never do. They always walk away, and then slasher comes up popping again or whatever. So multiple hits. We know that that's what it takes to knock these slashers, these killers down, whoever it may be. And I thought it was kind of cool to tie into modern day because Hollywood is always trying to revamp horror nostalgia, right? And now is the perfect time to talk horror. And I told you before that my Flix Talk channel, if you guys don't know, I also do host a YouTube channel called Flix Talk. We'll put all our social medias down below at the end, by the way. And man, it was going to be initially a horror movie channel because that's what I love. That's what I grew up on. I mean, if you guys are watching the video, by the way, on YouTube, I'm wearing a Chucky t-shirt. We have our posters in the back. Q himself, if you guys can see, he has all of his memorabilia in the back. Perfect.
Of course.
We were just talking about this the other night too, because you're like, oh, I see you got a Tales from the Hood poster on the wall.
yeah. It's like, dang, I haven't seen that one in a long time.
Man, and I love horror.
Somebody's wall.
Yeah, I love horror anthology. Creepshow is one of my favorites as well. And I'm like, this is a very, very much needed passion project for me. And to start off 2023, I'm so glad I could do it. And with someone that loves horror just as much as I do, man, I'm so glad we could have you on board, Q, man.
Oh, man, thank you for inviting me, man. Of
course.
This is my genre, man. Yeah, horror.
Of course.
Yeah, exactly what I grew up on as well. So since a wee little man.
Right,
grew up on horror. Yeah.
And I know we had talked about, we forget stuff along the way. Can you remember like one of the first horror movies that you ever saw growing up as a kid?
That's a good question. I will have. So I was born in '76, and I believe we start first getting VHSs in like my grandma we got 2, so we can record them, of course. And like around 1980. Man,
I did that too.
It was the shit. Like this was before the time they even had like Blockbuster videos or really video stores. Like video stores were in the back of furniture stores. So you walk through all this furniture and then it'd be like beta tapes and VHS tapes.
I didn't know about that.
I remember, it was crazy. I mean, that's before the mom and pop stores come in the big corporations like Blockbuster came around. I remember renting VHS tapes from the back of a video store. And I think the first horror movie I remember seeing was a movie called Gates of Hell and Creep Show. I remember they were on the same VHS tape. Yeah, it was a weird combo. It was like Gates of Hell, Creep Show, and Dumbo.
What the
Go
hell?
figure. I remember it to this day, and I liked all of them. I like Dumbo too, but like the Creep Show was my shit, and Gates of Hell was just kind of wild. But yeah,
Dumbo has some horror elements if you really think about it. Just like Pinocchio, the old school Pinocchio.
Oh yeah, the first Pinocchio was horrifying. That donkey scene is still traumatizing and horrible. Don't drink beer or smoke cigars or you're turned to a jackass. I'm like, what? As a kid, I wanted to hang out till all that shit happened.
And some would say that the new Disney Pinocchio, the one that just came out with Tom Hanks, is a horror movie. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it's a horrible movie.
I didn't see it, man. I would not subject myself to that shit.
Don't do it, bro.
We're definitely not going to do that. But, thank you guys so much for joining us wherever you're watching us, either on YouTube or on your favorite podcast streamer. We're going to try to get these podcasts everywhere, audio, video, what have you. But thanks once again for joining us on Why Won't You Die? The horror movie podcast, episode 1. And we're going to be talking about 1981's The Evil Dead. But before we do, let's jump into some movie news, man. And ironically, I have my Child's Play 2 shirt on. It's one of my favorites. And we got some Chucky news, man. So, Chucky, are you watching the show? Have you seen the last season?
Yeah, my 10-year-old son is in love with the Child's Play show.
I got to say, that's so cool, man, that you got your kids into horror movies, man, and shows.
Yeah. He only watches certain ones. He like Friday the 13th, but he loves Chucky. So he want to come down and watch it with me. So I watched. I'm caught up to all the episodes of Child's Play. Yeah, he always asks me when is it coming back. But we might have some news.
Yep, and that's the news we're getting into. So Chucky has officially been renewed for season 3. I mean, I haven't seen season 2 yet, but I mean, the way season 2 was going, like how it was leading off, do you think it could warrant more seasons? Do you know what the audience response was from it? I know there's a lot of people that I follow that were posting about it weekly when it was dropping. They were excited for each episode. They were excited for Jennifer Tilly. I don't want to give spoilers if you guys haven't seen it, but other characters along the way. Surprisingly, I hadn't got spoiled for season 2 too much because I still plan to go back and watch it now that I know season 3. But yeah, what season 2? I mean, did you know this was going to happen? Season 3?
Yeah, because like I said, like my son is 10, and the popularity with the younger kids and with the older generation like myself and and you are still interested in the Child's Play lore, and lore is the key word too, because I think they treat the old school Chucky lore with respect. I mean, that is Chucky, as you can see in the season 1, same voice, same everything. They bring it back a lot of legacy characters and a lot of new characters for young audience to grip onto. And I think the effects are done pretty good. Is it hokey and cheesy sometimes? Yeah, but that's okay. You know what I'm saying? We give it a pass. But I think the popularity of the show, warrants the season 3, maybe even the season 4, 5, and 6.
Wow. I mean, there's a lot of source material, like you said, not just with the original 3 that most of us, the original trilogy for me is like my favorites. Bride of Chucky is probably, I would say Bride of Chucky, it's going to be one of those where, I'm trying to remember when that came out. Did that come out like in midnight, like 97, 98? 99?
I think you're close, yeah.
Somewhere around like 97, 98. Yeah, and that's right when I was about to enter high school. So I was kind of, it's not that I was leaving horror. It's just that it wasn't in the forefront. I mean, obviously you're entering high school. You're thinking about other things at that time, right? I'm talking about girls. But like, when that came out, I think it brought a whole new audience of people that I was kind of like, these people aren't even on horror, man. They made it like Hollywood, basically. They made it, that's when it kind of crept over. But then again, this is when Scream had already boomed on the scene in like, what, 96, I think? Scream and Urban Legend and all that. So they were really pushing, which was cool because those were like the date night movies. But I think it was one of those things where it's like, when you grow up with your favorite band that nobody knows of and then they blow up, like you get a little bit like, oh, I wanted to hold on to that moment. I didn't want nobody else to know about this shit, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like you see the kids wearing their Nirvana shirts now. Like, boy, you're like 10 years old. You don't know nothing about, you know what I'm saying, come as you are. When you wear that shirt, you're a poser, son.
Yeah,
you do
man, perfect example what you just said, man. There's actually a guy on the street, you know, that goes around and, hey, I see you're wearing a Nirvana shirt. What is your favorite album for Nirvana? And they have no clue who the fuck they're even talking about. It's like, who? The shirt you're wearing, guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I went in the mall a couple days ago, and we went to Urban Outfitters because, you know, I love graphic tees, man. And I know those stores, Hot Topics, Spencer's. I get all my graphic tees usually from there. But man, I swear to God, it's like a preschool in there. You walk in there, these little teeny boppers wearing Nirvana shirts, wearing, I don't know, like I'm just thinking Green Day shirts or whatever it is, Metallica shirts, and it's Metallica, like, yeah, like actually I found a pretty dope ass shirt at Spencer's the other day. It was Digital Underground, and it had a huge face of
Humpty Hump.
Humpty Hump, yeah. I didn't know if that was his name or not. I just remember the song.
Yeah, I think that was his name, Humpty. Yeah,
was it Humpty? Okay, yeah, with the big, with the
I think he
big
come out
thing
like,
on his
my name is Humpty. Pronounced with an umpty.
That's right.
Dailies, oh, how I like the bumpty. Yeah.
Bro, I will tell you, because I used to DJ, and you know this. Anytime I threw that record on, Humpty Dance, that beat with the lyrics and the hook, that would turn any party out. Any party out.
Yeah, dude. I used to be in like 88, you know what I'm saying, doing it with my fucking Humpty ramp Bobby Brown haircut with the 3 lines in the side. Doing
shit. You had that little the Bishop from Juice haircut?
Yeah, I had the Bishop. I had the Bobby Brown boy. Yeah, the Bishops from Juice. Girls used to go crazy for that shit in the 80s. Huh? We
got to throw up a picture. Yeah. So you got to find a picture, send it to me so I can throw it up here on the podcast.
I'll find it like with my Bobby Brown, son.
But that's funny.
My mama cut it, so it wasn't no fade. It was just all, you know, straight bowl cut all around.
Oh, she did the hair?
Yeah, I couldn't afford no barber, and like I was like 10 years old or 12 or some shit.
Damn, mom hooked it up, huh?
Yeah.
That's funny.
And when I used to get in trouble in school, she used to just cut my high top fade down even lower and lower until I was just like bald.
Oh, that's like what they did with a couple years ago. People were calling it child abuse. I thought it was hella funny though. But it's like when they were cutting the kid's hair to make it look like Mr. Burns from The Simpsons. You remember that?
Yeah, dude, that's cruel, bro.
I think it was the same situation. Like, oh yeah, we got your report card in the mail.
Yeah,
and this is what's gonna happen. No more spanking, no more spankings for you, but we're gonna humiliate your ass.
Yeah. That Miss Burrs is cruel though, bro. Like a big bald spot in the middle of her hair. You're like 10 years old. Boy,
like just shave my head at that point, man. Just shave it all off. But
you look like you're on a short bus. They probably put them, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like something wrong.
Oh man. But Chucky, I'm gonna definitely catch up because I want to see where they can go. Yeah, but it was officially announced a couple of days. Well, depending on when you guys listening to this. So actually, this article is from January 15th, 2023. So weird still saying 2023, but we're here. So Don Mancini's hit horror series Chucky has been renewed for season 3, set to return to both USA and Sci-Fi. Who the fuck thought it would be this crazy on USA and Sci-Fi, bro?
Yeah, man, don't sleep on the horror, bro. I'm telling you, you know what I'm saying? Especially,
I was sleeping.
We ain't got a lot of horror series. We ain't got a lot of horror series, actually. You know, we got our old ones like what's that one that's been on forever? American Horror Story. I guess people still watch that. I haven't watched that one.
We try to catch up with one of the newest seasons, and it's actually pretty good. Like if you're into crime, like a crime stuff, which a lot of people are, I would say jump on the new season. But I don't know.
I haven't been there for a long time.
We go up and down, man. We fall off it, fall on, go back on. You know, so it's like We saw a couple of Lady Gaga ones, whatever she was in, and we kind of
done
those. But
I think I've seen some of those, but I just lost
Freak
interest.
Show. I think the Freak Show one was our favorite.
Oh, that was my favorite with the clown dude. You know, shot his face off. Yes, that one was bravo. Yeah, it had a lot of crazy stuff in there. It had like the freaks. They did the thing to the girl. I'm not going to say the word, but you know what I'm talking about.
That was a lobster boy.
Yeah, bros. Like,
Evan Peters, man, Dahmer.
They taking it there. Yeah, but
shouts out to Evan Peters, man, for getting that Emmy too for
Emmy.
Dahmer.
Yeah, he deserved it, bro. He was, I know, messed up or fucked up or whatever, but he was damn good. He was so captivating. and you wanted to watch him, but you didn't want to watch it like a plane crash or a train wreck or something, like, because he played it neutral. He played that role neutral. He got some pleasure, but he didn't know why. And they didn't paint him out to be like a hero or anti-hero of that series. It was very gray, but it was very dark in that way because it was very gray, you know, especially you see what happened to that one guy. That was just heartbreaking. I'm not going to spoil it for everybody who's seen it.
Yeah, the whole episode dedicated to that one. Oh, that at the end of that episode, I looked over, to my girlfriend Laura, and I was like like my eyes were welting up, like, you know, I mean, deep down in your heart, you know what's going to happen because they are victims, but it just, you can't believe that there are people out there that existed like this, and probably still, you know, copycats or people that hold it down deep inside, and one day they just might explode, man.
Yeah, and they don't understand why they do it. Yeah, it's messed up too, and it made it more powerful too because he was always sign languaging too. So you kind of felt it more. Yeah, there is an added layer of emotion when someone is disabled, or you know, I mean, would you call that a disable? I guess. Yeah, sure.
Disability.
Disability. Yes, disability. Yeah, he was deaf. Yeah, completely.
It's a handicap. I mean, it's like you go through a life, and life is harder, right? So
and then you have to go through that. So that's terrible. So like, this is a dark series, but like, shout out to Evan Peters. Congratulations, because I didn't see Evan Peters at all. I didn't see Quicksilver. So
right.
You know what I'm saying?
But I was gonna say though, on that note, you know, when you can act and you can really bring out all that traumatic past and have the families boycotting this and that, you know, terrific stuff. But he did his job as an actor. And I didn't see the speech, so I don't know what he spoke on, you know, about it. Like, as far as like, you know, I'm sorry to the families, but, you know, I'm doing my job type of deal. I don't really know what he said, but he is just doing his job, you know, and I hope people don't go after him for taking that. But he did portray a sick time that was happening. And it's like,
absolutely.
Yeah. And once again, I don't think these things are going to happen again to that extent, because with so many damn Big Brother cameras in the sky, you can't be a serial killer nowadays. The hell?
Yeah, it'll be I believe they're probably still out there, but it's a lot more difficult now with with our access to cell phones, and you know, we each have a video camera on this thing every time we walk out the street. You know what I'm saying? So it's harder to commit crimes like that, because Jeffrey Dahmer would have been caught back in the day if we had the technology of cell phones that we have today, because they would have pictures and, you know, all that stuff. Yeah,
anytime someone raises their voice in a Waffle House, people are recording. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's video of everything that's hitting. There's video that's hitting the internet every single day of like crazy incident. I know you know what I'm talking about, that Waffle House incident recently.
Oh, yo, the Avenger. I call her the Waffle House Avenger. She caught that mug like Chang-Chi or something like.
It kind of like did a little spin move around it with her hand. Yeah,
that was the best catch of the 2022, bro. Like, what the heck?
If she would have stuck out her other hand and a lightning bolt came out, I would not have been surprised. I would have not been surprised.
I would have been surprised either, because you're like, that was Bruce Lee's speed, son. Like, she wasn't messing around. Do you flip the waffles like that? Because I bet the waffles on point in that bitch. So.
Man, it does take a certain type of human being to work at a Waffle House. I just say that.
Yeah. Y'all got Waffle Houses in California?
No, man, we don't.
Okay.
Or at least I don't think so. Yeah.
Yep. We don't have none in Michigan. I used to live down south, and they were all over the place. And they're.
We do have Roscoe's Chicken and Waffle, though.
Yeah, that's dangerous out there. You know, that's in some spots.
Yeah, they don't even have a fight. They just have drive-by shootings out in the front for some reason. Always. It's crazy, dude. I'm telling you. Yeah. There's multiple.
I want to try it though.
Yeah, I want to try it. I might walk through with a bulletproof vest, but I'll try those chicken and waffle. I did try it one time, maybe like 10 years ago when we were in the area. It was good. It was good. The waffles were on point, though. The waffles were on point. Whatever there's magical ingredients in that.
Yeah, because they go P&B, whatever rock or whatever. They shot him inside the Waffle House. You heard about that, right?
Yeah.
While he was eating with his girl.
They went a step further and went in there and shot him. That's crazy.
Yeah, and robbed him. It's crazy, bro. Ugh. Yeah.
That's disgusting. But yeah, let's jump to the next story, guys. So this is one that you actually told me about. I wasn't really going to talk about it, but I think it's important, you know, because he is a huge part of the horror culture. So we have Elm Street 2 star Mark Patton. It says he needs our help in receiving medical care. So you brought this to my attention. I had no clue that he was even sick. But come to find out that Mark Patton is suffering from AIDS, man. He's going through it right now from AIDS. And this article does say that he's in a Mexican hospital currently. It says where they speak very little English and they are completely overcome with COVID cases here. That's scary, dude. Like being, okay, first of all, you're not even in your own country, right? Nobody speaks your language. There's COVID outbreaks. It's like, what in the fuck right now, man? Like I'm like on my lifelines here. You know, I'm reaching out, trying to reach out to anybody I can, but it looks like he's reached out to the internet to or someone in you know at his camp like reached out and did a GoFundMe. And actually, I didn't click on this recently. I did click on it the other day, and it was pretty high. Oh, it went up. So
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I know a little update.
Yeah, here's an update, guys. So as of we are recording this on January 17, 2023. He's reached $40,000 and he was asking for $18,000, man. That's, hey, hopefully he can, you know, that can get him some treatment. I mean, shit, look at look at Magic Johnson, man, been living for damn eons. He's been living forever.
I think he's totally fine. I don't know what he got or what type of money he got, but like Magic's straight. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think they're just injecting him out here. Yeah, they're injecting him with that children's blood or whatever the Hollywood celebrities take to stay young.
The Lamagra or some shit. Like
yeah,
that,
man.
He's straight. But yeah, I got an update on Mark because I'm friends with him on Facebook, and he just put out a long. Yeah, I got it here, but it's like really long and read because he's not up for very long. He's on a you know, he's on like ventilators and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Did he get COVID as well?
Yeah, he had COVID. He had problems from COVID, and along with the complications from AIDS. So his lungs are in bad shape. But he wrote a long letter thanking all the people who donated to him. He didn't think he was that big a celebrity that people really cared like that to you know what I'm saying, give him that much money, and he just like to thank everybody. But you know what I'm saying, he going through it, and you know what I'm saying, he's saying like basically hopefully he's gonna fight through this and maybe, you know, hopefully get to America. But he's in a fight for his life right now. So
I wonder why it's taking for sure, me too. I wonder why it's taking so long for them to transport him to a American hospital.
I don't know. I think he might be really sick. Is it because
he's too sick to move, I guess?
Yeah, he says in the message, I remember him saying this immune system is so weak that they have to keep him in isolation, you know, because no one can come in there because his immune system is so weak right now. So definitely sending love and thoughts his way, man.
We had talked about the other day, you know, that he has a documentary called Scream Queens on it's Scream
Shudder.
Queens, right? On Shudder.
Yeah, Scream Queen, on Shudder. It's actually a really good documentary.
Very good documentary. I actually really did appreciate that. And it actually, that was kind of the, I guess, you know, push a little forward for him to actually come out, right? Because that was kind of, you know, that's dubbed as the gay Freddy movie and stuff like that. And it is gay. No, it is gay. But, you know, and we even poke fun at like there's a scene with the director. I don't want to give too much because I want you guys to watch these documentaries and movies and stuff that we review and whatnot. But they're, you know, they interview the director and the director still claims it is not a gay movie. How? I don't know. I mean... But what I was going to say is that it's definitely revered, you know, amongst like the LGBTQ community, and that's great. That's a great thing. I always thought that movie, even though
as a kid.
I saw it as a kid, so I think it was gay
when I was little because I didn't really know what gay was. You know what I'm saying? I just thought it was a Freddy.
Yeah, I mean, plus that's one of the kind of the darker Freddys too. Like, it is. If anything, it was Freddy was acting similar to how he was in the original Nightmare to me, as far as like you didn't see him too much. He had a very grungy, he was living in the shadows type of thing until he came out, obviously, of, you know, and there's a lot of undertones and stuff that it's like, how can this not be a gay movie, man? Now thinking about it, you know what I'm saying? Like when he comes out of the body at the end.
Yeah, come out of him.
Yeah.
Like Jesse's kissing a girl and he backs up like, oh, what is that? Like a lot. Dance, touch me, tease me. Oh, he had the bottle like this.
Yeah,
he's popping it. He was like, I just thought it was
that.
Cool. Like, I want to be a teenager, but
yeah,
like, I was like, hey, I go to bed, like, hey, that's gay. There's some fine with it. I'm totally fine with it. You're like, I don't care.
Yeah, totally fine with it. But it was one of those that definitely was different in the series, but I think it definitely came around full circle and it's embraced now as like more of a gay horror, you know, cult classic for a lot of people. And trust me, there's a lot worse nightmares in the franchise. I'll just say that.
Oh my God, yeah. And I like how you said, Freddy's dead anyway. But like, I like how you said that it was one of the most darkest ones. It was kind of one of the most darkest Nightmare on Elm Street. It was a weird shit, like
almost giving off like Hellraiser vibes a little bit.
That's what I'm saying. They had like rock walls with people's faces on them and shit. You know what I'm saying? School children burning alive. You know what I'm saying? In the school bus. The shit was dark, bro. The pool scene. You're all my children now,
dude. That quote is iconic, and it comes from that movie.
Yeah. Yes,
you know what I mean. So it's like
so good.
It is what. The only thing is though that it kind of led up with Freddy running around like a creature, just like like
grab your ass.
Yeah, not really doing much, and it's like what the fuck. It's like you
slap ass.
Yeah, you started off strong, but the execution wasn't there.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
Did he start that with in part one? Did he do the little run after Tina like this?
Yeah, with the long arms, and then he had to burn it after her. You know,
slap ass, Freddy.
So I guess they got it right. I guess it is playing off the first movie. So. But yeah, we wish him well, man. I'm glad he's getting some money in the GoFundMe, and
I hope
that's great.
Right.
Hopefully he gets the treatment. Man, with COVID though, that's tough.
Yeah,
so.
I hope he'll be all right, man. He typed a long message. I'll send it to you after the stream or whatever. Okay. You know what I'm saying, and so you can check it out. But
definitely,
he wrote that. But he said he's sleeping a lot. So yeah,
okay, and we'll definitely
out to Mark.
For sure, and we'll definitely let the people know and update it. You know, once we get it on the next couple episodes or so. All right, so next article and final article before we get into The Evil Dead is actually something that came out today, January 17, 2023, and it's awesome. I don't know if you saw this. Bloody Disgusting posted it. There's a new movie called Suburban Hell, and it ties into Evil Dead because Sam Raimi is part of it. So Sam Raimi and Paul Feig of one of your favorite Ghostbusters movies. I know you like the Ghostbuster movie that he put out, the one with the I forgot what it's called, the newest one, the 2016.
I like Paul Feig too. Yeah, but I like that movie. I'm not a big fan of. No, I don't hate it. I don't. It's just it's just not Ghostbusters. I didn't love the other one. I didn't love Afterlife that much.
You didn't like Afterlife that much?
I liked it, but I didn't. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was just all right. You know,
that ending made me tear up, man.
It did too. That was the best part of the movie, though. But like the rest of the movie was just like the '84 movie,
like a Stranger Things type of deal.
Yeah.
I kind of dropped the ball with that one. I forgot what was it. Ghostbusters called in 2016? It's called like Enter the Call or something, or Answer the Call.
Yeah, Answer the Call. Answer the Call.
That's what I see. I dropped the joke. Let's rewind.
Yeah.
All right, your favorite Ghostbuster movie, Answer the Call. Well, Paul Feig. No, but I mean, I like Paul Feig too. Bridesmaids. He even came out with a movie called is it called The Simple Plan or The Simple Plan? Is
that the one with the girl in it? What's her name?
It's two girls. It's Blake Lively and the one from Pitch Perfect. Anna Kendrick.
Anna Kendrick. Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
I like that.
We saw it in theaters. I thought it was a pretty good movie.
Me too. Yeah, I like that one a lot. Like this is the type of shit Paul Feig need to be on. It almost reminds me of Rian Johnson of like with Star Wars, The Last Jedi, and then he makes the glass onions and the knives out. Like you're better at that, son.
It's like that. Yeah. You can tell a good, dramatic story, with some twists and turns, but also throw in that dark humor and dialogue and stuff like that, the clever comedic humor along the way and stuff like that, and most of us we enjoy that. So they are coming out with a movie together though called Suburban Hell, and it's a demonic possession horror movie. Sound familiar?
Yeah. Yeah, very, very familiar. In the suburbs, no doubt. Okay.
Right.
So it could be fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. So author Maureen Kilmer's novel, Suburban Hell, is getting a feature film adaptation from Legendary Entertainment, FICO Entertainment, and Ghost House, Deadline report. So,
nice.
And I didn't even know this, that Ghost House was Sam Raimi's production company.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Didn't even know that. And I used to watch a lot of Ghost House movies and that. Remember the little skeleton looking through the keyhole or whatever?
Yeah, the keyhole and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I was listening to a podcast. I was listening to a podcast recently, and they were talking about all that. And I was like, wow, I definitely remember Ghost House movies. A lot of them were kind of hit or miss, but you know, I think they even said Crawl was a Ghost House movie. 2019's Crawl, the alligator movie.
Yeah, the alligator one. That was a fun little movie.
It was a fun movie. Yeah. I like that. Yeah, I saw it in theaters, man. I really enjoyed that. So the novel tells the story of a tight-knit group of suburban moms whose friendship is put to the ultimate test when one of them becomes possessed by an evil spirit. So you got Evil Dead with suburban moms. What do you think, man?
Yeah, I think it's going to be definitely a horror comedy on, you know what I'm saying, on that level. Mm-hmm. Put it in this, it's like Evil Dead in suburbia, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm interested. I'm very, very interested, especially with Sam Raimi and Feig behind the, you know what I'm saying, production of it. I think it could be very interesting, you know what I'm saying, if you cast the right people. And I think they'll cast some, you know what I'm saying, some type people to do this. How far will they take the horror? Long as they keep the horror somewhat serious, and they can have all the gags behind it, but if they keep the horror serious, like coming from Raimi, I think no doubt they're gonna keep the horror serious and you know, have fun with the characters and all the comedy. It sounds like a horror comedy up the you know what I'm saying, down the right, you know what I'm saying, street. You know, it sounds like, yeah, I want to go to suburbia and I want to be possessed. I want to see this mom possessed and see how they handle it. It's, of course, you know, it's going to be more possessions in this movie. It's not going to be her. It's going to be. And
let's not forget that Sam Raimi also directed and did a film called Drag Me to Hell in 2009, which was also a very fun and crazy ass goofy horror. I mean, not goofy, but it definitely had Evil Dead vibes, like
all over it. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So you know, and I also listened to a podcast recently where they kind of dissected his whole catalog, and Paul Feig's had, Sam Raimi's had a lot of ups and downs, and it seems like he's kind of going back to his horror roots after the whole Spider-Man thing, because I think he's trying to get away from the big Hollywood shit, because I think after all the pressures from Spider-Man, 3 putting that out, and they're even talking about, I don't know if you saw, well, on Twitter, I've been seeing a lot lately, is that they're working on scripts for Spider-Man 4. That was a script that's been around for such a long time, but it never got put into fruition because they just dropped his ass after Spider-Man 3 because the I mean, I don't remember if that was even a flop. I just know it wasn't well received. I know that for sure. And by the fans, a lot of people just didn't like it. But the fans got to remember, that was a rushed ass fucking movie.
Yeah, and a lot of studio interference too. Like,
yes, that's not his fault.
Put fucking Venom in there. Like, why don't we're not putting Venom in this one. I was about Sandman. No, we put Venom in there. Put 3 more villains in here. Yeah, it just turned out to be kind of messy.
Yeah, I want to see
great stuff in there.
Oh yeah. And I want to see Sam Raimi just go back to what he loves doing, whether that's horror or not. I mean, I just want to see him go back to these smaller budgets, because sometimes it's not a safer bet, but sometimes it's like, when they throw so much money at you, all that pressure and stuff like that, that can be way overwhelming. You know what I mean? Plus you have deadlines and all these people that are investors in these projects, right? Yeah, they're all in the pocket, right? So when you have these smaller, it's more intimate, basically. You know what I'm saying? It's more intimate. It's like if you went to a bar just to have a beer, as opposed to going to a damn I don't know, like a huge like Madison Square Garden, having a beer and having thousands of people around you, like in your ear talking, like do this, do that, do that. You have deadlines and schedules and stuff like that. So I think it's a little more intimate. You can get to know, the cast, put together a solid piece, and I'm excited for this one. I mean, it does sound obviously the subject nature of demon possession. You can't help but think Evil Dead, but
Sam Raimi.
Yeah, why reinvent the wheel, man? I think it's time for, because the last time we got one was the 2013 Evil Dead, right? Well, I mean, Evil Dead Rise is coming out soon, but does Sam Raimi have an involvement in that or no? Or is he a producer?
I'm pretty sure he does. Yeah, him and Bruce Campbell. I think they're executive producers.
I know Bruce does. I just didn't. I wasn't sure if he had passed.
I'm not 100%. Yeah. You probably have to look at it. I'm pretty sure though. It's Evil Dead. I mean, he owns the rights to anything Evil Dead, right? Sam Raimi do, right? I would.
Let me see.
Assume
really
so.
quick.
Yeah. And Sam Raimi just did what? Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness.
That's right. He is an executive producer. Yeah. Like
you can't let them mess up your baby, bro. You know,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Don't you know? You got to oversee it. And from what that trailer looks like, which is my favorite trailer of the year, looks like they finna take it there. It looks like they finna take it there, son. Whoo, that trailer's so good.
You saw me watch that on live stream, man, and that was something, man. I had to keep rewinding it and pausing it and trying to dissect it and slow things down. And I hate doing that, but when a trailer makes you do that, you're pumped for it.
Yeah, that kind of made my skin crawl a little bit. He's like, "Mommy, are you okay?" She was like, "Oh, Mommy's with the maggots now." I'm like, what the fuck?
Yep.
There's some crazy shit to say, but that's Deadite shit. You know what I'm saying? We'll get into that too. You know what I'm saying? But that's the Evil Dead. They're like, "Oh, okay."
That is the Evil
really
Dead.
Taking the Evil Dead. Okay, let's do it. Let's go.
And that's a good segue into 1981's The Evil Dead, rated NC-17 with a runtime of 1 hour and 25 minutes. I don't know. Is this the only cut there is, or is it an extended cut? Because I know there's definitely an enhanced aspect ratio that I was watching. That's what I was going to ask you too. What were you? Did you have? You said you rented it. Did it come in a widescreen or did it come in the original 4:3?
I want to say it's 4:3. I can check. I got it right.
Because on the Blu-ray, I don't have the 4K yet. I know 4K came out recently, which I definitely am going to get when that goes on sale, man. But the Blu-ray I was watching, it said, "Do you want to watch in the original or enhanced?" And the enhanced was, it just looked like it was zoomed in, like to widescreen.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't mind on this one. I don't mind watching like these older films in the 4:3, the aspect ratio, you know, the square.
Yeah.
Because that's how they were intended.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I think it was, I want to say it was full screen, but I'm not 100% sure. Okay. Yeah, I know it was HD though, because I was noticing stuff. I didn't.
They might have stretched it out. They might have stretched it out for your screen. But I kind of went back and forth and kind of played with that. I know it's kind of like it's not a big deal for some, but like I just wanted to see what if they added anything to the widescreen at all, you know, or whatever. They didn't. They just zoomed it in, which is whatever. You know, I kind of hate when they do that. But yeah, it looks great. It does look great. So this is directed and written by Sam Raimi, and I didn't know, we can get into it, but this was based off of a short story that he did like years and years prior called, I actually want to see if I can pull this up, but I think it was called like, it was a Cabin in the Woods movie. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Not the Cabin in the Woods that they made.
No. But it's called like Don't Go in the Woods or something like that.
Yeah. I do. Yeah, I am familiar with that story.
Have you seen that or?
No, I never seen that. Yeah.
I don't know if it's accessible to anybody. I just looked back at Sam Raimi's like, you know, filmography and whatnot, and that one came out like right before he got the money, I guess, for this. So we'll have to look into some trivia or whatever, and then dive deep into it. But that one was like a. Yeah.
Quick fun fact. Remember I tell you we're like the early days of VHS. Evil Dead, the copy that was out that we just watched, was the hardest VHS to get. I went to video stores, I couldn't even drive. You know what I'm saying? I rode my bikes to video stores, trying to get the Evil Dead. And the only person that had it was like one of those furniture stores. You know what I'm saying?
Someone's selling it to you in a back alley, just like, hey man, I got this Evil Dead.
I got this Evil. It was like only like 1 or 2 copies at the video store at that time, but I had heard about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta see this fucking Evil Dead and shit. And I got it. It's like, oh shit, okay, I see.
Oh man, here we go. Of course it grew. Yeah. Oh yeah. The cult following grew crazy. And real quick before we get into the movie, guys, I just wanted to, because I did pull it up. So it says Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell grew up together. I did not fucking know that.
Yeah, Michigan.
Yeah, they've been friends at an early age. Yeah, we'll get it. And that's cool that we have you, talking about this as the first episode because you're from Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I got funny stories about them too. You don't know about my Sam Raimi and
we'll get
Ted Raimi stories? Okay.
We'll get into it. We'll get into it. Right. So the duo made several low-budget Super 8mm film projects together. Several were comedies, including Clockwork and It's Murder. I gotta check those out. But the short film that Raimi created was called Within the Woods, which was produced for $1,600. Damn. See, when you hear shit like that, you really think, and even like what was Robert Rodriguez's El Mariachi? That was like a super micro. That was like I don't know, 50,000 or something like that, and something like that. I don't quote me, but like same thing with the Kevin Smith from Clerks, like 50,000 for his first motion picture, and he sold off all his comic books to fund that. That's
crazy, isn't it? And you can get like for the Friday 13th movie fan film we made, we raised almost like $56,000 or something like that, and that's on the internet now. They were selling off back then. You can do that. It was no GoFundMe and shit.
Yeah.
So like it's just incredible. You know what I'm saying? That these filmmakers got these films done at these shoestring budgets, and some of the products are in pop cultural lore.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Tell me about it. Forgot to tell the fans, man, or the listeners, that you are also a 3D artist and you are an actor, my friend. So you want to go over that roughly before we get into it? Yeah, because I just dove right into it. Sorry, without explaining the background. But you want to let people know kind of your interests or what you do on the side?
Oh, yeah. Well, I started off as being like loving these movies like we were talking about, The Evil Dead, American Werewolf in London, Michael Jackson's Thriller. I wanted to learn how to do prosthetic special effects. So I started there. So I'll get some latex and tissue and make my brother up like the guy from American Werewolf in London, and he was all slashed up. And then and then we didn't have any money. We was in Detroit, and then my mom took us to the Bangor Weekend of Horrors, and I did all this makeup stuff all night. My mom bought the tickets. She was working at a chicken place. We had the tickets to Bangor. I stood up all night doing our makeup, and we won first and second place. Wow. The funny story about this one is that when we got on stage, the people who gave us our awards was Bruce Campbell and Sam Raimi, and they gave us. My mom was broke at the time. She was single mother at the time. She was broke. Yeah. They gave her like $450, but we got to get all the toys and autographs and shit, and like that. And we got to watch like the first Army of Darkness trailer. This is before the internet and shit. So we got to watch the first Army of Dark trailer at the fucking hotel, sitting on stage with Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell. It was just like surreal. And like we won first and second place. Like all these other people, they had all this money and shit, But yeah, that's how we did it. That's my introduction in practical effects. And then, of course, when Jurassic Park came out, T-1000, all that shit, I wanted to see how they actually did it. So me and my friend got in the hood, figure out how can we do this? How can we make this? And then we end up purchasing or acquiring software and learning it ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Just finding any YouTube, any torrents thing to teach ourselves. And then 10 years, later, or maybe 15 or 20 years later, I worked on all type of projects, Marvel projects, Game of Thrones. I live in Michigan, so I do a lot of car ads and, for the Super Bowl or commercials like that, CG. Wow. And right now I'm working on digital humans for ESPN. And it's just my life of art has just, went down that path. And now I was always making movies whenever I can get my grandmother's video camera. So I will do that, you know what I'm saying? And that turned into me making films now, like wedding film. I shoot wedding films. Of course, you see my skits sometime. And then like other people I'm involved with like that stuff. So they want me to act in their little movies and things like that. I made a couple little hood movies, but yeah, that's about it. That's, stuff like that. So it's always been art, rapping or whatever it's been, Yeah. So yeah. I want to go too deep into it.
Man, I can definitely see 8 Mile 2 on the horizon for you, man. I can definitely think that.
It's a show coming out with 8 Mile.
I heard about that. Yeah.
Like, what's that going to be about,
when I heard that, I was like, leave it as is, man. Come on.
Yeah.
That's a great classic movie. Yeah, that we grew up on.
Well, yeah, thanks for letting me talk shit about myself.
Oh, of course, man. There's gonna be plenty of more episodes where we're gonna dive into the shit. The shit.
Here it is.
There it is, man. Only people that seen Tales from the Hood know that. But let's get into The Evil Dead. I know I said it like 5 times already, but you know, it is all good. Yeah. We're here. I know people are listening or watching. They're like over 45 minutes. They're like, well, you guys gonna get into it or what? Come on, man. So let's get into our storyline. So we got 5 college students take time off to spend a peaceful vacation in a remote cabin. A book and audio tape is discovered, and its evil is found to be powerful once the incantations are read out loud. The friends find themselves helpless to stop the evil as it takes them one by one, with only one survivor left, with the evil dead, and desperately tries to fight to live until morning. Now, that's a pretty cool synopsis. Like I never really thought about it like that. Like reading even a synopsis for this movie, just because I've seen the movie so many times throughout my life. Did you know that there was a tagline for this movie? Because I never seen one on the posters at all.
No.
Okay. So
not for the first one.
For such an iconic movie, they have one of the worst, cheesiest taglines I've ever seen. That's probably why you never see it. So you want to guess what it is, or what would your tagline for The Evil Dead be? Let's just say that.
First Evil Dead.
Yeah.
Join us, of course. That one's obvious. I'm all right now, Ash. Like, let me see.
I think incorporating, join us would be pretty fun.
Yeah, join us would be pretty fun. What else did they say? This is crazy shit. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, they came up with, they got up on the wrong side of the grave.
Damn, it seems like I heard that before.
Really?
Seen it before somewhere, yeah, but I probably forgot it or something. Like,
but doesn't that sound kind of? That sounds like something from like Revenge or Return of the Living Dead, like not like for the Evil Dead.
Not the Evil Dead.
Even though the Evil Dead is like, there is a lot of like weird things that happen that make you laugh out loud and shit. I think they were really intending it to be this like a shock and like gross out fest, you know, like more serious nature stuff. Even though there's some things that are supposed to be emotional, and I don't know, some of Bruce Campbell's acting is kind of like, to me, not the greatest, but like his girlfriend's like dying and he's like, oh god, you know what I mean? Like I don't know, like it's kind of
he's over the top.
He seems a little green, like a little wet behind the ears a little bit.
Yeah, he was a little green, you know. Yeah. Like they didn't quite all the way know what they were doing. Thank God for Sam Raimi, who pulled it all together, you know. But no, I never heard that tagline. It sounds familiar, but like, no, I don't remember it.
They probably stole from another movie.
Side of the grave.
They definitely stole that from the dollar bin. From a movie.
Oh yeah, the dollar bin. Yeah, that sounds like a movie itself. They woke up on the roadside of the grave,
right?
Produced by whatever house or some weird
Ghost House.
Ghost House.
All right, so we got Bruce Campbell as Ashley, aka Ash. Everyone always forgets, Ashley J. Williams. I didn't know he had a last name in this movie. Ashley J. Williams?
J. Williams. Sound like a basketball player. Like he just drained threes and shit. Ashley J. Williams for the 3.
He's on fire.
He's on fire.
We have Ellen Sandweiss as Cheryl. We have Richard D. Manicor as Scott or Scotty. We have Betsy Baker as Linda and Teresa Tilley as Shelly. All right. So we got our cast, man. We're thrown into this cabin in the woods situation, which is probably the biggest horror, cliche and trope ever, right? But we love it though. What the fuck is it about a cabin in the woods that we love so much? The isolation is just scary. Yeah, the isolation is just scary. You're out there by yourselves. You don't, just in an unfamiliar place, you don't know what's in those woods. Yeah. Anything could be in the woods. I mean, if you know there's no Kandarian demon thing usually downtown if you're going camping. But still, it's in the back of your mind, like, what the fuck is out there? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't know if is it a wolf, a panther, a werewolf, serial killer. Bad things happens from all the movies that I see when young people go up to chill in a cabin for the weekend. Right. The isolation. Yeah, it's the darkness. we're introduced to this cast like right away. We're thrown into a car with them, which I think is great because you are set with all these people sitting around each other, you know, literally shoulder to shoulder, and they're just talking about the adventure at hand, but simultaneously you have this killer POV shot, which I have never seen in a movie from that time. I mean, you know what? I mean, there's a lot of like Italian horror and stuff like that. Maybe some other people did it, but this was, I remember the first time seeing this, and I don't think The Evil Dead was even the first one I saw in the series. I think I saw Army of Darkness first.
Army of Darkness first? Nice. Okay.
They used to play that on TV all the time for some reason. And I went back and I guess rented it because I was born in 85. So, you know, when this came out in 81, it was not accessible to me really. And you know, my dad was watching my first couple of movies. Well, I mean, you talked about your first couple of horror movies, but mine, what I can remember was my dad was really big into Stephen King books. So when the movie started coming out, he was on them. He was on them, and he would just it didn't care if we were in the room or not. He was throwing that shit on, right? Like, you know, it's like you only have 3 days or 4 days to rent them or whatever. We got to watch them. Like, you know, you pick out your 3 movies. You got the kids movies, and you got a you know, an action movie, and then you got a damn horror movie. So,
Misery,
right? So yeah, my dad was on Misery. He was on the Dead Zone with Christopher Walken. I think that was the Stephen King one. He would watch, of course, the Pennywise. So that was the It, but I know that was a TV film. Did that get released on? That had to have gotten released on VHS, like way after that, right?
Yes,
because that was a made-for-TV movie, but I don't know how far along that came out on VHS afterwards.
Yeah, I think it was maybe a year or so later because I had that. It was like the Scarface, you know, the Scarface with a double disc.
It was double VHS, yeah, because it was yeah, man, it was such a long thing, and it was. I appreciated. For some reason, I always remember the second part when they're adults because there's a scene when this kid gets so scared of seeing Pennywise that his hair turns white. You remember that scene?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. They do the stop motion thing, like when it turns white. Yeah,
and it looked kind of goofy until my dad told me that shit could really happen. He goes, you may think it looked funny, but like there has been cases where people get so scared or something happens where they instantly like go like a streak of white hair or something like that. And I just was like, wait a minute, something I saw in the movies really could happen. You know what I mean? It's scary. Yeah. So we would always watch that. There's another one called Sometimes They Come Back. I don't know if you ever saw that one. Christine. Yep. Christine. All that stuff, man. And it's like, you know, Creep Show. Yeah, Firestarter. You know, Creep Show. Yeah, Stephen King was a part of that. But like, yeah, that was a great time. But this was the first time going back to this, seeing a POV shot of, and I still can't understand, can you see this demon that flies around before it enters them? Or is it like an invisible, it can't be an invisible spirit because they see it. Like, they're like, you're seeing their reactions like, oh, you know, like at the end of the movie, you see Ash like, oh, you know, scream at the camera. But when it's coming at them, they become the demon. So what initially does the demon look like, I wonder?
Yeah, I wonder, does it manifest itself as sometimes and sometimes it's not? Because sometimes they can't see it, right? You know?
There's so many like ways that they show, like, you know, I know I'm jumping ahead, but like, you know, when the big hand comes out of the body of Scotty and shit, and then in Evil Dead 2, you know, once again jumping ahead, like there's like even more demon shit when there's like the big vortex and like
when they come through the door and shit. Like,
there's so much shit, like, you know, even like the actual Necronomicon, the tongue's over there flipping around in the fire and shit. It's like there's so many ways that this thing can be shown, but I don't remember if they talk about what it looks like in that POV shot. But it's such a cool fucking shot to enter the movie. Like, you're just like, wow, like all this shit is happening at once, like, you know. And I don't know if you remember or if you heard, so there's that shot where they're driving to the cabin and they go over that bridge. So, you know, in the original cut, there's actually like a gaffer or some kind of like cameraman off to the side that they left in the movie by accident. Did you ever see that?
No, I never seen it. I'm looking for stuff like that too.
So in any digital, like anything after the DVD, they digitally took them out.
Oh, okay.
So if you look there, I could probably find it on YouTube because I think it was only on the VHS copy. You could actually see a guy just like straight up standing there like on the side with like you know they have the big ass cameras and they're like kind of like trying to shield themselves or whatever.
Yeah. No, I never seen that.
I gotta find you that, man. It's so funny because when you know where it's at, and then you look at the new version, you could tell like it's like pixelated. They did like the woods all pixelated. They try to blur it in with like some shit like like the clone tool on Photoshop.
Yeah, it's all smudged and shit.
Yeah,
like every frame they had to put it in there.
Yeah. It's funny, man. But yeah, and then we're introduced to this cabin in the woods, man, and it's like shit just starts popping off right away. You get that swing that's just over there hitting the side right there, and then it just stops. It's like, come on, man. You or I we're out of there right away.
Yeah. Pack all your shit. You know what I'm saying? We getting out of here and never coming back again. I don't know what's going on here. Something unnatural. Unnatural.
I mean, let alone when you enter the cabin and you see how shitty it is. Like, you got 3 girls with you. It's like, what? Like, where are we all going to be at? Like, this looks like a Bates Motel or something, like a rundown version of Bates Motel or some kind of murder scene. Dahmer Hotel.
Yeah. It looked real sketchy.
It looked like Dahmer's room. It looked like Dahmer's room.
Yeah, Budweiser's and
yeah, all you need is a freaking you need a couple of drums in the corner, locked up drums. Shit.
Yeah. This place, I'm not gonna leave a high Yelp rating if I'm staying in this bitch.
Not at all, man. But what'd you think about the introduction of this movie and our characters?
What I liked about it straight up off the bat, because Sam Raimi is already in this bag with that camera work. I'm like, damn, this. I mean, I was like I said, I just watched it before this podcast, so I was like, damn, Sam Raimi was in his bag back then, and he didn't have no money. Like, how is he achieving these shots, bro? Like, how? You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, they got literally shots over the water going up. You know how Sam Raimi do. Like, how is he doing this? There wasn't any drones at the time. The water's still, so like I was amazed. Like, in that POV shot, and then them just going up to the cabin. Like, I'm just intrigued by the camera work. You know what I'm saying? Even a little sense of dread that Sam Raimi did, along with his direction. I just thought it was masterful. Yeah, masterful, like on a Kubrick level almost.
Yeah, and and I love how we get so quick into the action. Like within 10 minutes, like when they enter there, the cabin, I believe it's Cheryl. She gets like, and this is weird. Once again, now that I'm thinking about it and saying it out loud, this is all happening before they play the incarnation. What is it? The incantations, and reciting, all this stuff that they need to from the Book of the Dead, right? So how is this stuff happening to like where Cheryl is over there like drawing the Necronomicon, like it's possessing her hand and she's over there drawing it. And by the way, if you look at her hand, like they like drew veins on her. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Like these blue ass veins. Like
we're real shoddy in this movie.
Oh man,
like, I don't remember that.
It looked like they took a crayon and just started painting all this makeup on. Like it was bad. There was definitely some shots that would look like, oh my god. But then there's some shots of like Cheryl in the basement. She's over there. Let me out. It's like god damn, that's scary.
yeah, it's terrifying.
Yeah,
that's
so
terrifying. Like
it's an interesting. Yeah, those eyes. Yeah, it's an interesting batch of special effects that we get. But once again, I mean, we're talking about a shoestring budget. I think he said he had to raise $100,000 for this movie to be put out, but I don't even know if he raised that. I mean, it looks like it's done way less, way cheaper. I can literally see latex, like they try to put it on and it's not blending at all, and like just smears of black grease. Yeah, because
all over the face.
Yeah, because what was the original Halloween, like 300,000 budget or 250,000, and they had multiple locations and all these way more actors to deal with. You know what I'm saying? So I can only imagine $100,000 budget movie. You know what I'm saying? Like all that budget went to the special effects and camera work for sure. It had
absolutely.
to. Yeah, they didn't get paid nothing. They got trauma. That's what they got for doing that movie.
Yeah.
And I guess becoming legends, you know, they didn't know they were going to become iconic.
Oh yeah. Like look at Bruce Campbell now. And it was weird too because I see the makeup will change during scenes. Like sometimes the shit would be all over here.
Yes,
and then they're cut, and then it's just not there anymore. Like, is she changing, or what the fuck is going on here?
I did notice that. I did notice that. It looked like a lot of it looked like incomplete too. Like they started part of it, and then you could just see her regular skin. It's like you didn't finish the makeup. Like it's like, well, we didn't have enough money to.
You had to blend it. You got motherfucker to blend it in or something. Like just put it on and go and film. I mean, that's what it was. That's what it was. That's what Sam Raimi was on. He was just trying to get that film done. And,
but this
people.
Yep, and this movie just does a great job of creating that atmosphere and getting to it right away. I mean, if anything, I could have done without them, kind of like, you know, her arm getting possessed or whatever, until we reach that tape recorder. Because once we get that tape recorder, my friend, shit goes off. And I was watching this late at night. I saw some of it like in the morning, the next day, whatever. But like, I'd watched this movie so many times. But if you're watching it late at night and you're listening to that tape recorder, there's something about it. It's creepy, man. And it's just like, you know, Scotty's making a joke about it and stuff like that. And I forget who, Cheryl or Linda, she's like, turn it off and stuff like that. And he's like, man, put that shit back on. This shit's good to the good part.
It's chopper cape with a compressor. You know, like, he would have been like, play that shit again. That shit fire. But no, dog, I agree with you. That shit is terrifying, bro.
Yes.
That but he got a smoother voice to me, like that doctor. He said,
yeah.
What the fuck? Like that sounds like it's literally raising hell. You know what I'm saying? Every time you hear that shit is terrifying. It's coming on that old school tape recorder. Like, turn that shit off. So like, no.
Yeah. And we find out that it's basically from this guy who's, I forget if they say it, an explorer or an excavator. He found this Book of the Dead wrapped in flesh and inked in human blood. That's what I remember him saying. And I think it's like from a Sumerian village or something like that, or Sumerian Yeah. So I think. I mean, if I was watching this as a kid, I'm just blown away. I'm watching a horror movie, right? A cool horror movie. But I think watching it as an adult and rewatching it, it's like they put so much detail in the backstory of the book. It adds like it just creeps you out a little more. At least it creeped me out more because it's like, oh shit, Kandar. I'm gonna look that up. Like, is that a real place? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, like, does this come from a real village of people? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've seen Cannibal Holocaust. I've seen the Green Inferno. Like, there might be people out there that have this shit. Like, you know, so I don't know. But
right.
Yeah,
Cannibal Holocaust. Fuck.
Yeah, and then I don't know if we're ever if there's ever an explanation, but I think it's just the excavator. He found that knife that had the skull on the outside of it. That was badass, man.
Yeah.
That was cool. And we definitely see that used a couple of times throughout the movie. And they use them in effective ways. It's really cool. But we're introduced to the Necronomicon and probably one of the most iconic pieces of horror memorabilia next to the Pinhead box. I don't even know what the hell they call it. It's called something I don't even know, but the puzzle box, right?
The puzzle box,
yeah. So we have that, and then, you know, they try to build on a little love story between Ash and Linda. And Linda, you know, he gives her the necklace and stuff like that. I don't think any of that really worked. I don't know what.
They don't work. I forgot all about it. Even though I was watching it, they try to build it up like, oh, I forgot he's with Linda. It's like they don't really establish any relationship really with them. You don't even think they're love interests at all in the movie until the necklace comes in place. But like at that point, you're like, we don't give a shit about that.
I think that was just one of the cliches where it's like you have to put a love interest in here, even if the other couple people are single or whatever. Put a love interest in here. And you know, so you have somebody so you have someone to care about or whatever. Like, so when they die, you know, I mean, they do it all the time in shows and all stuff like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, you got to have someone
love to conquer the evil, the Kandarian demon.
Exactly.
That's the only thing that happened. Because you know, we talk about later. You know, jumping ahead here, you use the necklace to get the book to throwing
it
in the
is
fire.
used. Yeah, it is. It is used along the way. Yeah, he gives her this necklace and whatnot. Yeah, and it's a story that they try to build on, but I could have done without it because you definitely find out that no one is safe in this movie. Not even Ash. Not even Ash. And I mean, when we get to Evil Dead 2, holy shit, man. Ash definitely ain't safe from nothing. But I thought it was. Back then we didn't know Ash was gonna be the survivor. We all know Ash now, but back then we didn't know who was gonna make it out that bitch. I don't even think Ash thought that, man. Ash, Ash didn't even think that. Did you ever see a movie called Maniac Cop?
Yeah. They made like 3 or 4 of them bitches, didn't they? With Kane Hodder's and some of them.
I don't know. I've never seen them, but so I heard that Bruce Campbell's name is on the poster, and this motherfucker's in it. Like he jumps in like an hour into the movie. He ain't even in like the majority of the movie. I could be wrong about that. I could be thinking of another movie, but I saw a poster and it said Bruce Campbell.
Yeah.
So wait a minute. Is he the Maniac Cop? I don't even know what he plays.
Damn, I haven't seen it in so long. I know he is in there because I remember that ad thing where Weekend of Horrors. One of them, or one of the Maniac Cops. But
so Maniac Cop is 1988.
1988, yeah, that's about this time I went to the thing. Yeah,
that has Tom Atkins in it. Oh shit! It says Tom Atkins, who was huge. I mean, shit, Halloween 3, everyone's favorite Halloween. No, I'm just kidding.
Tom Atkins, the shit Creep Show. That's what they made fathers. Drinking his beer on the couch and shit.
Yeah, so he definitely is not the main guy in this movie, but I think he comes in like the second part. I'm looking at pictures and whatnot, but I think he's definitely he jumps in. Oh, who plays the Maniac Cop? Robert Zarr. That was the guy that had that big old chin. He had that big old crazy chin. I think he died from it because I think he had like I think it was killing him, but like
nominally,
it was big. He was in Tango and Cash right at the beginning. He was a villain at Tango and Cash. I don't know if you saw it, right?
Yeah, I seen Tango and Cash. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he's one of the villains in the movie, and he's definitely a recognizable face. I will say that, but I know he died kind of young.
Damn, that's fucked up. Yeah. Like damn.
Yeah, but going back to Evil Dead. Yeah, he had that. He had that jaw. They should have used that jaw for more. He could have made a whole movie about the jaw. They just called it the Jaw. Like you know what I'm saying?
Trap Jaw.
Shit. This ain't Jaw. This ain't Jaws. This is the Jaw. He could have been some kind of
Jaw.
He could have been some James Bond character or something. Like a James Bond side villain or something. Like that guy with the sharp teeth or whatever.
Yeah. Jaws, I think that was his name.
Oh, it was Jaws. Jaws versus the Jaw.
That's
what I'm thinking.
Son. Yeah.
All right. So back to the Evil Dead 1981. So next after that, we have the iconic. And this is probably where this NC-17 came in, man, where Cheryl goes outside with the demon, which leads to tree rape. Or woods rape. Yeah, the R word.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, the R word. Yes.
I'll have to bleep it out.
I just watched that scene. I was like, oh, yeah, they really did do that.
Yeah.
Because it's a scene, it's doing its thing. The branch wrap around her titty, rip it off. It's full nipples. Like, damn, I didn't know she had titties like that. So like she got some pretty good titties.
And I will, since we're on the Cheryl topic, she was kind of like I was crushing on her, like as far as like the rest of the cast. Like I remember growing up, like I thought she was the prettiest one. Yeah,
me too. Yeah, especially I seen
and I feel like they try to push.
Like, whoa.
I feel like they try to push Linda in the forefront as being like the hottie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too. I was like, oh, she kind of hot. Wait a minute. I didn't know that was under there, son. Like, damn, okay. I see what the tree's up to. No, not to condone tree.
Hey man, don't condone tree R words. Come on. We're not tree condoners.
Yeah, but they I was watching it and the tree split her legs open like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at the camera shot. I was like, oh, that's a little bush there. It's shadowly, but I
thought it was underwear. I thought I was looking at underwear, like just black underwear.
Was it underwear? Yeah, maybe it was black underwear. I was like, maybe my perverted minds thinking it's bush or some shit. Like
hey man, we were coming off the 70s, so I mean they kept it kept it OG.
I thought they was keeping it OG, and then it just like, and then they did that shot with it like go straight in, like bam, you know what I'm saying, and hitting it, and then it's like doing it for like a full minute or so. She's like, she's getting it, and like
she has that look of like her eyes roll back, like ooh, like
yeah, it's like, oh, I might like this tree sex thing. You know, is this bestiality or photosynthesis?
This is treestiality.
Treestiality.
It was wrong, man. It was wrong. But I was trying to figure out this thing
on that one.
Yeah, they pushed it, but it's such an effective scene that you never forget. And it's like when this thing is like flying around and it just flies in people. Why did it have to do all that to her? It knew Cheryl was hottie. Yeah, it knew Cheryl was hottie.
Shit.
Man,
they knew she was the hottest. Like this one, yeah.
It's like, I see what you're doing, Woods. I see what you're doing, Woods.
That tree been holding that sep for 15 years, huh?
Oh my God. People are not gonna like what we're saying.
Hey, you wanted to go with the tree.
It's a huge scene, which leads to her getting possessed, man. I mean, and she becomes one of the most recognizable, I will say, one of the most recognizable demons in the damn movie.
If she had the awesome turn, right?
Yeah, if not the maybe not entire franchise, but at least the first couple movies, I would definitely say, it was an iconic look and the way she sounded, and you know man, anytime you see that shot of her in the basement, just like lifting it up a little bit, you just see half her face. It's like, God, like I can't go to sleep.
Yeah, that's terrifying. Like I want to be on set around that thing. Like I'm not fucking going near that thing. No. You call the shot, bro. I'm not. You see her down there? That doesn't look natural. You know, you just scare people. You know what I'm saying? While the set is down, people drop the camera and shit. Like, oh yeah, we can't finish the makeup because Bob dropped the camera and that was $25,000.
Right.
Yeah, like,
that was a fourth of our budget right there, Bob. Thank you.
She looked terrifying, bro.
Yeah,
I would say she looks more terrifying in the initial basement scene where we're going like this, and even Evil Dead 2. And I like Evil Dead 2 a lot. I don't know. What do you think? You know, I know we're jumping ahead a little bit. Who's scarier?
I like Evil Dead 2. I think it's just more polished.
I like it. You mean, the makeup? Like,
yeah. Oh yeah, that one's terrifying, bro. That's it. Swallow this.
Yeah. I got the book back here too.
That is cool, man. I thought I saw something back there. And if you guys aren't watching
it's an old book. It's old now though.
If you guys are watching on YouTube, man. If you guys aren't watching on YouTube, go over to the YouTube, man, and check this one out. That's cool, man.
Yeah.
You said that's a DVD copy?
DVD.
Oh,
yeah, but it's I think I got it like in the late 80s. So like the fucking
it is thrashed.
The fur. Yeah.
Is there cotton in there? What is that?
Yeah, it was like cotton. It used to say, "I swallow your soul." I swallow. It don't work anymore now.
Oh, it used to actually speak.
Yeah, it used to be like, "I swallow your soul." I swallow
that is cool.
But it's like so old now, and all the latex is rotting off. Yeah, they got better ones out there now.
Now it's just saying, "Throw me in the trash already! Throw me in the trash!
Throw me in the trash!" Yeah, I would, but it got it got the DVD in here, so I still got that.
That's super cool, man. I love that.
Yeah, and I got the 4K.
Nice.
Yeah, she was definitely a dope Deadite, though.
Oh yeah, for sure. I forgot to call Deadites too.
Yeah, she was dope, bro.
Yeah.
Is that when she turned when they were doing the card game, or was that the other girl?
So
Ace of Spades, Queen of Hearts, Jack of Diamonds.
Oh, I forgot when that happens.
Yeah.
Oh, but I know she runs back. She ends up, escaping the trees. I guess they're done with her, after a couple, I don't want no 1 minute tree. I guess, you know what I'm saying? Like, so they're like deuces, and like she just bounced, and she made it back to the cabin, and she's over there crying on Ash. I can just see the trees dancing. I don't want no 1 minute tree.
I'll take you to the candy shop.
Man. So, Cheryl has that transformation, which then leads to, I cringe every single time, even though I know it's coming, is that damn pencil to Linda's ankle.
That was done very well.
And it's the shot stays on it so long, and she's still bending it and shit. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, they bend it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
the rubber was going like this, and the blood is coming out. It's just
Cheryl's not even moving. She just, Linda's not even moving. She's looking at
Yeah. And she was digging too, like this. Like, who wouldn't move their fucking foot, yo?
Yeah. I would do everything I could.
If you step on a Lego, son, if you step on a Lego, you know what I'm saying? You know how bad that hurts, you know what I'm saying? You're going to hop around.
If you're stepping on a Lego in the middle of the night, you're doing a 360 backflip. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, you were in pain. So you taking a sharp number 2 pencil to the motherfucking ankle, son? Oh, dog. And just sit there and take it?
Yeah.
I'm glad we got it because we got the dope shot, but like, shit, son.
Oh, my God. Yep. Then we get all these other dead-eyed attacks, man. I mean, who's the other girl? Oh, Shelly. I keep forgetting about Shelly too. She was kind of cool. They didn't spend too much time with Shelly though. I think she was a short hair
dress, right?
I believe the short hair brunette. Let me look at the picture.
Yeah.
Because you had.
We're gonna get you.
So you had Shelly. Let me see if it shows a picture of what they look like. I'll throw it up if you guys are over here on YouTube checking it out. Yeah, she had the white top, green pants, I guess. Or so Linda had the Michigan State sweater. Cheryl had like kind of like the black sweater on top, and then Cheryl had that. Yeah. Oh, they all kind of had the same poofy 80s look. You know, that lion hair, the lion's mane. But but then we get our couple transformations, man, from Shelly and Scott, man. But Shelly attacks Scott and he throws her into the fire, and that's when shit really starts popping off with all the gore, man. We just get at that point we don't find out yet that it's connected to the Necronomicon. I think that's more towards the end, but that's a cool effect too. When they light the Necronomicon on fire, then I think it's Scott that starts lighting on fire. Remember that? His like leg or something starts lighting on fire, like smoke starts coming out.
Yeah.
I think it's him or it might be her. I forget.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, but all that
connection for the third act, so they can, it's like, oh, this one destroys the evil.
Yeah, and then we get, all the blood and guts, and then Shelly starts like, I think Scotty stabbed her with that knife, and then she starts screaming that nasty scream, and I'm like, oh God. That's another thing too, is a couple times you hear those screams, which is the demon, the demon from within, just like,
it's kind of high pitched and low at the same time.
Not human. Great. Definitely not human.
Not human. And I think Sam Raimi, perfected that demon voice. I mean, it comes from Raimi, man. Like that, the Evil Dead voice comes from Raimi. Every time you hear it, even in the new trailer we watch, you hear it. You know what I'm saying? But it's even scarier now. Like I was like, ooh, like this kind of really creeps me out. Like that one did too. Like, but all those creep me out. But like the new ones too, they just got better technology to even mix it more. You hear, what I'm saying, being a DJ, so you hear that mix. And I think the gore amps up more and more and more in this movie. What do you think about that? Do you think that pencil stabbing in the leg, it just keeps going up and
Yeah, I was about to say that's when Shelly but I was gonna say that scream almost sounds like mechanical, like it was almost like done like in some studio, like mixed in with some human vocals or something. But Shelly starts like spewing out like white milk and stuff, and it starts like exploding shit. Like I'm like, what is this shit? And then I remember it's just weird stuff that you really don't think about. And I mean, I think of course, we get to see Scotty at one point is like, you know what, fuck this, I'm out. Because I think was Shelly his girl? I forgot. I think Shelly might have been his girl, because I think once she dies, he's like, I'm out of here, Ash. Like, I'm the fuck out of here. And then he's like, nah, but what about Linda? And he's like, I don't give a shit. Like, I'm out of here. And, once he enters those woods, he gets the woods fuck him up. I wish we would have saw that shot. There must have been like an extended cut of the woods slapping him up, because he comes back and he's fucked up.
Yeah, he got bones hanging out everywhere. Yeah. It's just like all fucked up.
It ends up ultimately killing him, because you see him on the couch just kind of just like hanging out there, just like shaking, and then he dies. He don't die. His body dies, but like Scott dies. Yeah, but he comes back as a deadite, and it's like
horrible lines in the movie too. They're like all his lines were super cheesy. We never talk about that guy.
Were they? What were they saying? Do you remember?
Oh man, yeah. Like if I can remember, like just his banter with Ash was super cheesy. He was very green too as well. I mean, it worked for the Evil Dead though, for the movie. You know what I'm saying? Back then, when they tried to make, but he was green though. But I think his best acting is when he got hurt, in the woods and came back, and then like, oh shit, he fucked up. So
he really looked fucked. Yeah, he really looked messed up. And that's he and then as Ash had to do, man, he has to start taking out everybody one by one until they take out or they take over Linda. And you think about it, it's like, did she get the demon transfer by getting stabbed in the ankle? Hey, because
good point.
You know what I'm saying? Like how? Because I'm trying to think. Like obviously the forest entered Cheryl. And Shelly got hit with like, I think it came through the window. It just showed that POV like, and then it went through the window and then you don't see her no more. So it obviously like went through her or something. But how did it get Linda? Like other than her getting stabbed, what other contact did she have with the demon? Yeah,
that don't make any sense because Ash was getting bit up at the end there on the leg and everything by the Deadites, and he was straight.
Oh yeah, he was getting chomped on left and right.
Yeah, so and he was fine, and she just got stabbed in the ankle with a number 2 pencil.
Yeah,
so
that's the only thing I was trying to figure out now that I'm retelling it. But it's like her transformation was pretty cool too because it was really creepy. It was like on some Annabelle shit, like a little doll just sitting there on the ground, just like type of shit.
Yeah. And then like Ash started giving her like uppercuts to the face. You know what I'm saying? Left and
like,
right.
Shut up! And then kicking her in the face.
I mean, you can tell like the Evil Dead 2 was coming out. The ridiculousness of the series was coming out. I mean, there's a lot of shots of Evil Dead that's directly tied into Evil Dead 2. Like, oh, that's the same shot. I love it. But like, man, you can get away with that nowadays, right? You can just be like uppercutting a woman in the face.
Man, no, definitely not. They'll be like, hold on, Bruce, you can't do that. You can't. It's 2023. You can't do that, Bruce. But she's a demon. I don't give a shit. You can't do it.
I gotta cancel this movie.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, you probably can. I don't know. I guess it'd be fine. Right?
I don't know, man. There's always that, you can't do something, and then there's always someone that does it, and everybody praises that person for doing it. I still think there's an appreciation for a crazy situation because guess what? You or I know if this were a real world situation, I know these are movies we're talking about, but if this is a real world situation and you had a fucking, horde of female zombies coming at you, you're killing all them bitches.
Yeah. Shit.
For sure.
Shooting bitches in the face for years. You know what I'm saying? They were doing it. So like, they shot a child the first episode. So
tough. That's tough.
Yeah. It's just who's willing to do it.
Yeah, so we get all this craziness, man, from Ash killing all his friends pretty much, but it's tough to kill Linda, the love of his life, Linda, right?
Even though we not emotionally invested with the love of his life,
Not really. Even when she's switching back and forth, and this is the thing too. I mean, I totally forgot that they can switch back and forth, and that's what some. I was watching the Evil Dead Rise trailer, on live stream when it did come out, and I was like, I totally forgot that they can switch back and forth. Like I thought when they're stuck in that demon, gore mode, like that's just how they act. But no, they can switch back and forth to, to manipulate their prey, so to speak. And she did that. She switched back and forth to try to, play off of Ash's emotions and whatnot. And
she was like, and the one in the basement too. And they both switched. Like, oh, I guess everything's all good. She was like, I'm okay now, Ash. I'm okay. Open the door.
Yeah.
I'm okay now. I was like, yeah, right. Everybody,
that was a cool shot, by the way, in the basement too. You had like all the blood that was filling up in the lights, and they were exploding and shit. And by the way, yo, how many times did Ash get hit with blood just in the face, like in this movie? Like he must. Yeah. Oh God, Bruce Campbell must sign a contract. Like we got to hit you with at least like I don't know, like 50 gallons of blood throughout the whole series or the trilogy or whatever you want to do. And he's like, all right, let's do it. Because, when that I don't know, pipe breaks or whatever, dude, he got hit with like 10 gallons of blood right in the fucking dome. Like really hard too.
Yeah. And he took it like a G. That's why Bruce Campbell gets all the respect he does, bro.
Oh,
He's
absolutely.
Like Three Stooges back in the day, but like for horror, you know what I'm saying? Not like it's funny and shit, but he actually is doing that. Like he's like the Tom Cruise of horror, you know. He'll just put himself out there and just do crazy shit, especially back then, you know, that and the Evil Dead 2, you know, era. So yeah. So yeah, he took that to the face. And kept trucking, bro. Kept trucking. Bruce Cameron is a trooper.
Yep.
He's a trooper. And it works for the better on camera too, because you look at it like this is physical, this is real. I mean, this is before CG, but like even back then, you're like, what the fuck? What is this? We don't see shit like that. The last time we seen this much blood was in The Shining, coming out the elevator. You know, that wasn't on a person. You know what I'm saying?
It was just so much amounts of blood. It was like crazy to watch on camera.
Yeah, and you think about it. If Texas Chainsaw Massacre, think about Texas Chainsaw Massacre. There's not hardly any blood in that movie. It's hardly not any blood. Like the hook, you don't see any blood. You know, it's kind of implied. You know, but it's still one of the most disturbing movies because of the concept. But like Raimi was just like, I'm gonna just fucking show
you everything. I'm gonna show you everything.
Everything. Yeah. And this is 81. You know, and I don't think they came back to that level of gore to like, you know, Hellraiser series.
I want to say
maybe some more.
Yeah, I want to say one of the main reasons, and we were talking about this the other day, is that you remember how we were talking about Jason, Friday the 13th 4, and how much cool kills they had in that, and then you jump to part 5, and all the kills were like really cut away or very edited down. That's what I feel like is the reason why this got an NC-17, because they kept on those shots so long. Like when people are getting dismembered and their hands cut off or whatever, they keep on those shots. They don't just show them for 1 second. Like they show them for a good, 5 seconds or something like that. Or pieces getting ripped off. Like, you know,
ripped their arm off. Like,
yeah. So they have a lot of cool shots in this. But jumping back, but jumping back to the story. So he can't kill Linda. So what does he do? He buries her, which dumb idea. I mean, she's, demon, she's gonna come out of the grave. And this is when shit really starts kind of like they add another layer. He starts getting like, he starts tweaking out almost. Like he starts hearing voices. I had the subtitles on too, by the way, which I never really do for like older movies that I'm rewatching. I only usually do that for like newer movies that I can't understand or I can't hear. But there is a scene where he's in the cabin just standing there and he's hearing footsteps on the roof, and it said on subtitles, clopping. So there was the deer. Remember the deer head in the second one where it starts tweaking around? Which they do show in there's a deer head in the first one, right? Or is there deer? Yeah,
it is.
It is. So the clopping is that deer up on top. And I'm like, holy shit. I never noticed that in the first one. So he's hearing voices from all over, right? Just they're fucking with him, right? And then of course we get to see that shot where he's really losing. He puts his hand through the mirror. The Matrix move.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, that was dope.
Yeah, that was an amazing effect. And he pulls 81, man. And he pulls out his hand and he just screams like the craziest scream of like, this is really happening, bro. Like,
like what the heck?
I love that.
Not after all this other shit, but like as soon as you did that, this is when it's really fucking crazy, right?
This is when it's really going down, because it's like at that point, what is real? Like, what is this? Am I in the Matrix? What I'm saying?
Like my mind, They're really turning it up, losing the mind. Yeah, we'll get into that one on the next one, but
So this is when we get Cheryl and Scott attacking Ash. So he's going double teaming, on him or whatever. He ends up, taking him out. But this is what I was talking about earlier, is that I don't know, maybe if I didn't notice it before, but that he throws a Necronomicon in the fire, and I don't know, I don't remember if there's a reason why he does that initially. Like maybe he realizes that, I think part of it started catching on fire, and then he saw Scott was getting caught on fire, and he fully throws it in there, and that's when we see the tongue coming out of it, and they start getting roasted basically, and some of the sickest shit, like it's sick. It's sick. Like even the only thing I can compare it to, and I'm not trying to be like a prude when it comes to horror, because people are, you think that's gross, what about this movie? I know there's sick shit out there. I know there's gross stuff out there. But the only thing I can compare it to at that time was Dead Alive, the Peter Jackson.
Nice. Yeah. Good comparison. Good comparison.
Had some great kills and like very graphic, like gore.
Yeah. Dead or Alive is very similar to Evil Dead. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like
around the same
the
time.
lawnmower scene.
Well, yeah. Oh God, the lawnmower scene.
I
Take
think
it out.
Dead or
people.
Alive is closer to Evil Dead 2, right? Yeah.
I was gonna see Dead Alive, or AKA Brain Dead, I believe is also the alternate title. Actually, it's 1992, bro. What the hell?
Oh yeah. And Evil Dead 2 is 87. So that's like after Army of Darkness, right?
Oh, Peter Jackson was definitely taking some inspiration then from those from the Sam Raimi camp. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, that's another one. Now that I think about it, that's another first horror movie I had. I had the first Evil Dead, and then Faces of Death. Right?
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? So I was watching Faces of Death. We come to find out now a lot of them are fake though, but like
they're like not reimagine. What do they call them? Like when they're redoing like scenarios and stuff like that, like replaying them or whatever. Reenactments. Reenactments. Yeah.
So like I was a kid, I thought it was real though. Like I used to show all my friends this fucked up shit. Look at this monkey, you know what I'm saying? Get his brains beat on, watch people eat. But
I remember that, yeah.
But some of it was real, like all the animal stuff, you know, and some of the stuff was
people lighting themselves on fire and shit.
Yeah, all that. Some of it was real, but most of it wasn't real. But that reminded me of that end scene of Evil Dead, reminded me of the Faces of Death stuff for some reason. I don't know why, you know what I'm saying? It just was so weird and grotesque because they're showing intestines, they're showing skulls, you know, decaying, even though it's with a limited technology now.
I wanted to talk to you about that. Yeah. Is that what it was? Stop motion animation?
Yeah,
because
that definitely was. They had, you can see they were cheap. So they had like literal clay, like Gumby rolling off things. You know what I'm saying?
How did they achieve that effect? I wonder. Because it really did look like it was not melting, but kind of crumbling.
Yeah, crumbling and peeling. I don't know. A pretty good sculptor. So I don't know. They had to do that frame by frame.
Man. I really would say, and if you guys have no clue what we're talking about, Cheryl and what was it? Not Cheryl. I'm sorry. Cheryl and Scott. Because she was in the basement, man. She got out. What did they do to Shelly? Oh, they dismembered her, I think. But yeah, Cheryl and Scott. They just start melting. But what I was gonna say is that it would have made it more. But I think there was a point where, because the makeup looks so hokey and just so like bootleg that it's like I think they purposely just wanted to make it look like almost like cartoony. So they, like when they're melting, it looks almost colorful, like a rainbow coming out, like greens and a lot of color,
yellows.
And it's like you think about the human body, we don't have that much color like inside of us. You know what I'm saying? Like so, the skull would be grays and whites and like you know what I'm saying? Like it would be those colors. So it's like why wouldn't it be like more powder looking? But they made it like with the greens and like different. Which is still like gross. I don't.
Yeah,
maybe that's the reason why he did it.
Yeah. It was gross. It was like bubbly, weird pus and roaches and like what the fuck?
Roaches were coming out. Yeah, I think at one point, like out of the hand, like Scott, like his skeleton was like it looked like grits was coming out of his arms. I'm like, God damn! Someone with that grits on the set and just pushed it in there. So I'm like, hey, let's just push this out with a tube real quick, and it's gonna look nasty.
Yeah, it's gonna look nasty with this yellow son. Grit.
Speaking of, this was actually labeled as a video nasty. You remember video nasties back in the day? I don't know if that was before your time or not. So video nasties were, I think it was a UK thing. So maybe that's probably why you don't. But I just seen documentaries on it. So I think they came out with a law. It might have been in the US too, but the UK for sure came out with the law where these movies that were coming out that were like Texas Chainsaw and like very just graphic and like terrorizing people type of shit. I spit on your grave, all that type of shit, right?
Faces of Death.
Yeah, Faces of Death stuff. They threw them in a category that was not horror. It was called video nasties, where it was like, this is horror, but it's like a next level of horror. Like this ain't your typical black and white Dracula movie. Next level terrorizing shit.
Holocaust and shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Killing real animals and
exactly
monkeys in the neck.
And that's exactly where I believe they threw this movie in there. And I think a lot of the Italian movies, like the Italian Giallo and all the horror, Dario Argento stuff, got thrown into that because they wanted to differentiate. I guess at that time, that this was pretty extreme stuff for the common viewer. I don't know, but it makes sense watching it now because it's definitely like a. I mean, you have like who's the guy? Cronenberg. He's known for like body horror, right?
Yeah, the
like
Fly.
Yeah, like exactly. Like a lot of like the gross things that have to do with body, or like adding things onto bodies to make them like it's its own subgenre of horror. Like they have body horror movies out there where it's specifically like gross, like body. They even have one called melter movies or melting movies, something like that. Well, I gotta send you an article on that where it's specifically about splatter, gore. Like, have you ever seen? Oh God, what's that movie called? Street Trash. You ever seen that one back in the day? You know.
Oh, with the pee-pee? You ever seen it?
Yes. Street Trash is fantastic. And that came at a time, I don't think it's a trauma movie, but it's definitely trauma-ish. I mean, if you've ever seen those trauma movies, that's like all that shit is like
that was like the height of gore. That was like 1987, I believe. That was just like when we just had to be the goriest we can be. You know what I'm saying? I remember that.
The more disgusting, the better. The more disgusting, the better.
I don't even know what that movie is about, but I used to clip together the pee-pee shot, you know what I'm saying, and other shots and show my friends, you know what I'm saying, with like Friday the 13th and stuff.
Yeah.
To the death. Yeah.
I love that the guy's running after his dick. If you guys don't know, this is a spoiler, but if the guy's running after his own dick and he's not even acting like his dick got cut off.
Yeah, no.
He's just like, give it back. Give it back.
Give it back. They're kicking it around, you know. This is everywhere.
Yeah, it's based. Oh God, I want to say that movie, you know, without going off the tangent, even though we've done the whole episode, it's all right. But
yeah,
I think Street Trash is about like someone finds like a moonshine. Yeah, hobos find like a moonshine or something like that, and this guy drinks it, and it literally melts him.
Yeah, it's a shot of him in the toilet, like that.
Yeah. I remember that shit was so gross. They used to put it on the cup, like the. Oh, yeah, it was colorful too. Once again, what's with the color? What the fuck are they doing? Like, these aren't colors that come out of your blue. Doesn't come out of your body. We ain't Avatar people, like for real. But I thought it was a great, weird, interesting movie. But this definitely got thrown into the video nasties. And but yeah, going back to what we said, the hand do pop out, like the demon hands. They're like, these bodies are destroyed, so we got to come out in our truest forms. You know, Ash, the sun rises, Ash is able to, and this is another thing too. It seems like once the sun rises, like, where the hell did the demons go? I was wondering, because like the arms break through, but then the sun rises, like he sees the sunrise, and then everything's like all peaceful.
Yeah.
It's like, did they go hide really quick in the shade, and then like, I don't know. I mean, yeah, we can pick apart this movie, but I mean, it's like, when you're watching a movie like this, you don't got to think about it.
He was there with the thing, with the book, right? That was the daytime, right? Okay. Yeah,
true. So it's like, but that's not the end of it. We get that POV shot of the demon, and it breaks. It comes through. I don't know. It decided to go a couple football fields away, and then just go through the woods again, or maybe it's its homie. I don't know. It just went through, and it breaks through the cabin, and then it breaks through the front door. And it ultimately goes into Ash. We see a POV. It looks like it goes into his mouth almost, like the camera just, you know. And then the movie ends, and we get our credits.
Yes,
that's Evil Dead, man, 1981. Yeah. What did you think of it overall? What is your rating of it?
Yeah, I just got out of Evil Dead. Like, I just watched it. I mean, I remember the movie, you know, pretty well, but I want to get refreshed on it. And if I watch it again, you know, I used to do out of 5, so I gotta give it a 4 out of 5, bro. I mean,
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. It was solid. Only thing I would, you know, take away, I mean, Sam Raimi did phenomenal directing. Even back then in his bag, you could see the guy was super talented. But his thing, he had a vision. So that's what I respect. And I respect him for pushing that level of violence and gore to, you know what I'm saying, the mainstream, because it was underground and it became mainstream, the Evil Dead. You know, like I said, it was one of the hardest VHSs to find because it was so underground until it's like everybody now it's like Evil Dead. Like, kid, the fuck you wearing that Evil Dead shirt? You know what that is? You know? But only thing I would take away, I mean, you can't the acting, some of the acting is green, like you said, Bruce Campbell's green. Yeah. A lot of the people around him are green. You look at that, like in 2023, looking at that makeup, some of that makeup like is just falling off.
Yeah,
like literally you can see it jiggling and shaking, you know, like you see shadows, like that's not even glued on though. Okay, you know, just weird makeup choices with grease and things like that, but well directed. And then some of the shots and some of the gore works really well though, you know what I'm saying? The hands and that shit is very creative. You know what I'm saying? The stuff like you said, what they do with Ash with the blood and on the projector and behind the projector, the imagery, it's iconic. It's iconic. You can't match that. You know what I'm saying? I only take a point away from like, you know, being super technical. It's just like acting. Some of the acting was just a little, you know, a little over the top. And it's like a lot of stuff don't make sense, like we were talking about tonight. You know? There is plot holes that we can pick apart, and that's okay. I mean, you can, even though a movie has cult status or it's iconic or whatever, you can pick it apart. That's totally fine. I mean, that doesn't, you know, stop our enjoyment for the film. I mean, we still love this film to death. I love it. I mean, it's definitely a staple. It's one of their, you know, it's definitely up there in my top 10 of like, you know, all. I don't know which one. I'll have to go back and watch. Once I watch Evil Dead 2, because I don't remember which one I like more. But this one as a whole for me. Well, first off, I give it the same score you did, 4 out of 5. Mainly because, yes, the acting. I didn't even ding it for the plot holes because I didn't really think about it until after we're talking about it now. But yeah, that makeup, some of that makeup just changing constantly. And it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, well, you know, it's going to change because once again, they had a limited staff and a, you know, limited budget and stuff like that. So they can't replicate, you know, maybe this is like a one-time take and then they had to kind of, okay, can we remember how it looked in that other scene? You know, they didn't replicate it that well, you know, or maybe they didn't have, you know, they didn't have they just didn't have the budget, you know, that's what it comes down to. Didn't have the budget. Yeah. So little things like that. But it's weird because as a whole, like story-wise and everything, that's a 5 out of 5 for me. It's just the movie execution itself is a 4 out of 5. But yeah, I everything that you said, I totally echo, and you know, this is a great movie. I would definitely recommend it to anybody, and it's like it was hitting around the time when I think slashers were trying to become a thing because you had obviously Halloween. Even before that, you had the Night That Dreaded Sundown, I believe. You seen that one? Yeah. Yes.
That was we got the guy that had a potato sack on his head, right? First Friday the 13th. Yeah. So you had all these slashers like in a small town type of thing. And I'm not saying, once again, this is the first because there's always been people, oh, what about this low budget? You know, you're always going to find some low budget piece of shit VHS movie that did it before Evil Dead. Trust me, right? We haven't seen every single movie in the world. We're still discovering movies every day. But this is the first that I can remember that was tackling on that, you know, a demon possession material, especially with the backstory of the Necronomicon and the Book of the Dead. I'm sure it's not the first time. I mean, I'm sure there's black and whites that talk about the Book of the Dead. I mean, you got to remember too, George Romero's inspiration for these zombie movies were like African voodoo ritual stuff that was happening in old cinema. Well, it was happening in real life, but it was like cinema portrayed it like in the old black and whites. Like they were showing like, you know, people arising after these, you know, these spells were putting on them and stuff like that after death. And he just took it to the next level, you know, of that. So all of these interpretations, you know, once again, Nightmare on Elm Street is also an adaptation of a kid, you know, who couldn't go to sleep because he was fearful of this guy that had knife fingers that was going to kill him in his sleep. And come to find out that when he finally went to sleep after like a week or something like that, he died in his sleep. You know, these are all actual, you know, inspirations from things either real or not. I mean, who knows if that was even, who knows if there was even a real story. I mean, it was a story though. You know what I'm saying? So I think this was the first time I had ever seen something like this. And once again, I think Army of Darkness might have been my introduction. And then I went back to watch all of this stuff. And I love it. I would definitely recommend this to horror fans that don't know anything, especially if they're younger, you know, to kind of to jump into something like this. But 4 out of 5, man. Yeah. 4 out of 5. Yeah, man. I'm glad you brought up Romero too, from the Night of the Living Dead, who kind of is the grandfather of zombies, but zombies were around before Night of the Living Dead, of course. Oh yeah. And this, you know, he's seen. I mean, it's a picture. I gotta find it. It's on my Facebook somewhere with young George Romero and a really young Sam Raimi together, you know what I'm saying? Oh, really? And yeah. So you know he was definitely inspired by Night of the Living Dead. Okay. And he just did like, you know, Night of the Living Dead on acid. You know what I'm saying? That's what he did. That's what Evil Dead is. You know what I'm saying? It's just that shit turned up to the upper echelon. You know what I'm saying? Just these crazy zombie deadites. Oh, you're just talking about figuratively. I thought you meant literally on acid.
Oh yeah, no.
Hey, well, Stephen King was all on cocaine when he made Maximum Overdrive, so and that movie was fucking crazy.
yeah. You could tell, man. You could tell. So yeah, you're absolutely right about that, man. He was definitely inspired by the stories from the past. He just pushed it to that next level, and that's why we have Sam Raimi today, and he's still a highly ranked filmmaker. You know what I'm saying? Sam Raimi name still, stir echoes when you hear it. So yeah. Evil Dead did that. Evil Dead did all of that.
Yeah, now we got Suburban Hell coming Spider-Man. Up, or Suburban Demon, whatever the fuck it's called. We got that coming up with the Suburban Moms.
I watch anything that Sam Raimi do, man. Yeah.
Yeah. So there we go, man. This is a long podcast, especially for our first one. But hey, I'm glad we did it, man. I'm glad we did it. We dissected. We talked a couple of news stories. Do you have anything coming up, Q? I'm going to try to put this out this week. But do you have anything recent that you want people to check out on your YouTube? I'll put all that link in the description below.
Yeah, I just reviewed the first episode of The Last of Us. That's up right now. You can catch it on YouTube. Probably gonna shoot a review for Sick maybe tomorrow, and put that up later.
That's a movie that we're gonna be talking about next too, by the way, which I did see. That was on Paramount or Peacock. I forgot.
Peacock.
Peacock.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be talking about that.
Yeah. Other than that, maybe pull out some more Last of Us stuff and whatever comes up. I don't know.
Okay, for sure. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. If you guys are watching on YouTube, make sure to hit that big thumbs up and consider subscribing today. If you guys are listening on any podcast service, Spotify, iTunes, whatever, please do us a favor. Please do us a favor after this episode. Leave a good review. Give us a billion stars. I don't even know what the rating is, but yeah, just give us a thumbs up. Just give us some love, because with those reviews, it definitely pushes these, further up there in the ranks. And, horror, I know everyone's talking about it, especially recently. And that's why I wanted to do this, because it is in the forefront now and it's not taboo. I feel like back in the day, if you were like a horror, like you were almost like in a nerd category. Like a lot of people, depending on where you were, people were like, you were kind of the outcast walking around with like a horror shirt. I don't know. Maybe that's just where I was from. But all the kids were walking around wearing, Lakers t-shirts, Kobe like they were wearing like other memorabilia that was not horror. And I felt like the odd person out anytime I spoke about horror, because horror just grasped me in a different way that action movies do, or dramatic movies. We both watch all kinds of films, superhero movies, all that shit, right? But there's something about horror, man, that just, we collect the shit. Yeah, it hits different. And I love talking to man, with you guys and with Q right here. And it's going to be an awesome time here on the podcast 2023, man. And episode 1, we did it.
In the bag, son.
In the bag. Yeah. All right, guys. Till next one, we're gone. Peace.